So Yetta, we've established that you very easily jump into the overwhelm mode. And what system? Because everybody's going like, okay, I know you can go into overwhelm. What's the system?
All right, so I'm glad you asked, and we are going to unpack that.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.
How honored we are that for over 30 years we've been able to come alongside you, not only selling, buying, and investing in real estate, but really 30 years of coming alongside you to build your fun, build your faith, build your finances, and even strengthen, heal, and flourish inside relationships. So really 30 years of building your life, your business, and your home, and like some wealth too. This is good. And so what we're going to discover here is really a technique for powerfully moving out of overwhelm and into clarity and focus.
Right.
And yes, it even works for me.
There you go. And who
Right?
are we recording this segment for?
Well, we have a lot of clients and potential new clients that stay in touch with us, that send us little text messages. I have some of them on WhatsApp. I have some on Messenger. I have some kind of in email, some on all over the place. And that just have encouraged us about the episodes, about the value that they get from Life's Inside Track episode. And so one woman in particular, and I didn't ask her if I could say her name, but if she's listening, she'll know who she is. She called or texted again to encourage us. It was Messenger, actually, this particular one. And in the conversation, she said, I think it would be really cool if you spent a little more time unpacking this whole sense of too much to do and how do we narrow it down? How do we not live in that? Because there's always more to do than you're going to get done. And so as we bantered back and forth on Messenger, that's where this whole 3 segments came from. Right? This whole sense of it's common for us to live in overwhelm, and it got us really clear on the journey that I personally have been on to get out of it. Because, I started with, one quick little strategy is I would move into a state of fascination. If I can be fascinated by the situation, it moves me out of overwhelm. And that was a mentor of mine about 20 years ago, Diana, that taught me.
Fascinating.
I am fascinated. So if you hear Yetta say I'm fascinated, it is one of my go-to words. You'll know that I'm fighting against the sense of overwhelm. Like that's what's going on for me. And then as we chatted more on the Messenger with this potential client who I've actually never worked with yet, but we know we will one of these days. And she's just here to encourage us, to encourage you, really. We committed to do this whole show.
Okay.
And it's about the four
Ds.
The 4 Ds, as well as the story around the rocks. That was a piece of the strategy.
So now if you've got your list, like we talked about in the first segment, where you've got this list, you've walked around the house, you've created a list of 40, 50, 60 items or whatever.
And the neat thing is you can do the list categorized. I don't think you spoke too much to that, but once you write it out, categorize it. So maybe there's a whole house list. Like for me, there's a whole physical side of the house.
Which some people call the honeydew list.
No, yeah, but and you're not doing them all, I can tell. Some of them have been on there for a decade, so we're not going to get too caught up on that.
No, we're not.
But we can categorize. There may be work list, there may be a family list, there may be relationship list. Like I find it a health list, a spiritual list, rituals that you want to instill, a people list. So the nice thing is once you get it all down, I do believe it helps to categorize to make sure that some of them are, in fact, the big rocks, that the important things are there.
So you've hit them all. And it's an easy way if you go, okay, well, I'm not really on overwhelm, but I'm not accomplishing as much as I'd like.
Right.
Now create your lists in all those areas of your life. Right?
Yeah, or maybe I'm just not in as much flow and ease and harmony,
right?
And I'm not living exponentially. So this is really one of those life exponential strategies.
Yeah, and if you're, when you're doing your list, it might be things that you're tolerating, things that are halfway done, or things that are broken, things that frustrate you. But then there's also the list of the things that you would like to accomplish, your goals, your the fun things in life, the things you want more of. So you create all that list, right?
Even hobbies. Like right now, I want to learn how to use my drone. I want to learn how to use a GoPro that my parents gave me for Christmas. Like, I'm thrilled about those two pieces of technology. They've been on my I desire list for a decade, maybe longer. Mm-hmm. And then my parents were so sweet to get them for us for Christmas. Yeah. And so now on the list is learning how to use them.
Okay. So the method we're going to talk about on this show is the 4D method. Mm-hmm. So what do the D's stand for? What's the first one?
Well, the D's stand for, and I don't know if they're in order, but once you've got your list, I think it's the first step. You want to read your list in your categories or as one big mess. And what can you delete? Like, what really is not that important? Like, what can you actually say, I don't ever have to do that. I can simply take that and delete it. Although it's nice, it's not important. It's not actually something I'm in earnest going to do. So what needs to be deleted?
Right. You're keeping it on your list, but you're really not committed to ever doing it. Yeah. And it's just taking up bandwidth in your brain. Okay, so you're going to delete that.
Right.
Then you're going to look for things you can delegate.
Yeah, what can I give to someone else that needs to get done? What can my spouse do? What can my team members do? What can I delegate that really isn't mine to do anyway?
What can I hire out? Like if you've got lots of revenue coming in, but the house is dirty because you can't keep above it, or you can't cut the grass regularly because you're working too much, or you want to spend time. You want to spend time with family or friends, and so those kind of things you could delegate. You could contract out. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. So lots of things could be delegated. Mm-hmm. Maybe you normally, like, I used to change my own snow tires. Now the shop does it.
Right. It's delegated.
Yeah.
And then what are those things that I can delay? Like, I have on my list, which will stay on a list, a book that I started for Ryan many years ago, a scrapbook. And I think I intend to do it, but I will delay it until I am finding myself with a lot more spare time.
Okay. So things you can delay.
Yeah.
And then it's the things that you do. As Nike says, just do it.
Just do it.
The ones you just get done. And there's two ways of hitting the just do list. And I'm a little leery of saying them. One is the most important.
Right.
You want to list a few of those. And sometimes you just need to do the one that's going to be fast and make you feel that you accomplished something, because your brain loves accomplishments, right? And you need to celebrate when you accomplish something. So if you put only things that take like more than a day on there, then you're not going to accomplish what you need to accomplish, and you're not going to have that sense of accomplishment.
Right.
So then each day, so you pick 3 big important things, you work on them. If you complete them, great. If you don't, you still worked on the best things. Now, tomorrow we create the same list, not the same list, a new list. And again, look at the top 3 things we want to do. Look at what we can delay, what we can delete, and what we can delegate. And we do that daily, creates a wonderful life.
And then there isn't the stress and the chaos. So really, what do you say happens?
Well, if you're 2D,
it's a flat image.
Image. If you're 3D, it brings depth. If you're 4D, if you use the 4D, you will bring results. And we're honored to be your advocates on this journey of increasing wealth through real estate and having a life exponential.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.